All right, you loyal listeners. Welcome to another episode here of Agents Influence Podcast, conversations with Jason Cass, and that happens to be me. I always say that when it's weird, but here was the deal. Way back in the beginning when we created that name, no one knew who Jason Cass was. Now I just need to have that removed because I think too many people know who Jason Cass was. Raution, I actually left my town that I lived in and moved to another town that I bought an agency in, and I was happy to do it because I had too many people in my town that knew who I was. That's a true story.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
It's a good, right? That's the question. It's actually a good thing. It became the fact that I was very immature and young when I was younger. And I think a lot of people always wanted to pull me back to who I was when I was younger. And it was something I couldn't break. And then I ran for city council, only lost by 13 votes. And so everywhere I would go, people would talk. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to be. I used to be the auto and home guy. I'm not the auto and home guy anymore, And it's like, so when I came here, I really like the fact that no one freaking knows me. It's really nice. So, and I say that not like I'm a popular person. That's a town of like 8,000 people, okay? Everybody knows everybody, right? So anyways, as I've always said here to you loyal listeners, welcome to another episode of Agents Influence. We have Mr. Raution Jaiswal on, and we are happy to have him on because he is recently a new partner of Agents Influence. Raution and I have known each other for, I'm going to guess 4-ish years, maybe 5-ish. It's getting up to be almost 2023. So I would say 2017, 2018 is where I came on the radar. And you may have heard that he is the CEO, founder of InsuredMine, which is a very fabulous CRM that large and small agencies use. One of his biggest fans and supporters is Todd Thames out there, uses them for some of his stuff. And I also know some bigger carriers and brokers, and I approached Raution and I said, hey, maybe this is the time that we get exposure to our group, our tribe, our loyal listeners, and he accepted. So, Raution, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't think, let's be honest with each other, probably 5 years ago, we didn't think we'd be standing here, did we?
I always thought about it. Maybe not you.
Yeah. There's a lot, loyal listeners, a lot of truth he's spitting right there. So, yeah. So we met back in the day. We really kind of solidified a lot of our relationship through Billy Williams. Billy is a well-respected person. He spoke highly of you. I had to take a different look. And here's to be honest with you. We're going to get on with this podcast, but loyal listeners, I want to know where we're coming from here. A lot of the things that the technology world and the insurance world and the technology world altogether is doing today are the things that Raution was doing back in 2013, 2015, 2016, and he was catching flack for doing it. And now it is the way that a lot of us connect through a lot of our carriers, and especially into our management systems. And we're going to talk about that. But before we do, we've got to get on to the 3 most important questions that are asked in the insurance industry every week. Are you an iPhone or are you a Droid user?
iPhone now.
iPhone now. So you were an Android, huh?
Yes. So I ditched iPhone at iPhone 3 and then continued on Samsung Android for longest time, and then back at iPhone at 12.
I like it. A man that sees both sides. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. I say that like the Apple is like a captive agent, and Droid is like an independent. So essentially, Raution, you just went back to the dark side. But that's okay. That's okay.
Before you would have mentioned that, I would have caveat by saying, given a choice, I will go back to Android.
Right.
Not given a choice. Obviously, I think I just got it, so I want to stay here for a while, not change it. But I think I was way more happy with the productivity and the product that it has to offer. And I think Android is way more superior.
I got to tell you, dude, I have dug myself, Raution, into such a hole here with this people think I'm anti-Apple, and I'm not. It's just a question I ask. But I've actually wanted to try Apple because like I just want to know what it's like. And now if I do that, like that's the ultimate sin here. I can't do it, you know?
And that's one of the reason I did it, that, I have been with Android. Is there anything more novelty in Apple? But, I tried it for a year now, and I think, no, I think I'll be happy going back to Android.
When you do.
So
Yeah,
just for
okay,
you to know.
fantastic. Good. Hey, what's the last app you downloaded?
Good question. I downloaded an app yesterday. Good, and let me think what it was, Yes, I downloaded 8%. Day for yesterday. So we were at the Cody Askin 8% Nation event last weekend. So that's what I downloaded.
Do you love to win or do you hate to lose?
I love to win.
Any reason why you say that? Why that comes out of your brain when I ask that question?
Because I do not keep stock on what I lose, and I lose a lot, and I don't care about it. This is the example I use. Everybody wins 10, I win 20, but they might have lost only 5, I lose 80. And so I'm still a bigger winner because, the number of attempts and number of failures, it does not bother as long as I'm continuing to win more than others.
You are a bigger loser because you are a bigger winner, is what you're saying, right? Or you're a bigger winner because you're a bigger loser. I like that. I like that a lot, and that has got to go in there, bigger winner because bigger loser. So tell me this, 2 things, skill or luck, which you believe has been a bigger factor in your life that's led you to here.
Well, I think it's a lot of hard work. Luck comes as a part of the package. You would not be lucky if you're not putting in the effort.
So you're saying, what are you saying then? You're saying the skill?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, specifically in your product. I mean, you took that thing from baby to all the way that it is, and it took skill to do that. You didn't get lucky.
Never.
Now, along the way, there's probably some things that helped you propel a little faster, right? But
I would not say a thing. I would say people. The only thing is people who propelled us who we were here, whether it's internal or, a lot of industry folks. As you mentioned, Billy, the Brent Johnson, there are a lot of guys within the industry who got us where we are today. And
you're right about that. You're right about that. You are right about that. When I first saw Billy back in 2005 at the National or the North American it was North African American Insurance Association, and this is back in 04. This is back in 04 or 05, and I remember seeing him. It was in a very little room. Billy was just getting really hopping, and man, he blew my mind. And I remember thinking to myself, this guy's going to be somebody in the insurance industry. But anyway, so that's really great. That makes sense. So take us back to high school. Take us back to diapers. Where were you born?
India, Kolkata.
Kolkata. And then when did you come here?
2007.
So take us from there to how you got to where you are now.
From 2007 to here. Came for an MBA, did 2 years, then worked on Wall Street a bit, then worked for Big Four consulting, government for almost 10 years. Then last 5 years, M&A. And then by the fag end of M&A, I was like, okay, let me try something in startup. And that's how we started digging ourselves into startup and came through the ashes and, built what we have today.
And so when did InsuredMine, of what we know today, when did it first start?
The idea conceptualized in 2016-17 period, and this was while I was the senior director M&A for CBRE that time. And one of my trip from Chicago to Dallas, I had to make insurance payments, several of them. And the idea brought in, hey, there is no single platform or a dashboard where I can see all my insurance in one place. So the idea was trying to resonate more with mint.com. For your credit cards and bank statements. So I wanted to do something like that. But, a good entrepreneur, as we always say, is not about what he wants. He tries to see, where the bigger opportunity is. So that was the genesis. But then I started talking to agents, and they said, I have a bigger problem if you want to solve something for us. This is more on the sales and marketing, and then it started evolving. And I have a cool story in that regard, and we'll get to it, that point.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, I really liked it because I didn't really know. So InsuredMine actually then essentially 2018, 2019 is when it really started hopping and became, when did you name it InsuredMine?
2017 end, because 18 first week, we were part of an accelerator called GIA, Global Insurance Accelerator.
Okay.
Brian got me going into that. So that's another guy, I would highly say that is influential in where we are today, because he said, okay, you should join this accelerator. 17, he met me at an event, and that's how we got into 18 accelerator. Again, what we went in with the idea, so I say, I went in with an idea to that accelerator. I came out with a business.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and so by middle of 2018, we are still scrambling. End of 18, we had few customers that kind of aligned with what we were building, but it was nowhere close to be a CRM. It was so the whole took off was 19 basically.
Gotcha.
Because beginning of 19, we had some very large enterprise accounts like American Enterprise. It's a life, Great Western for annuity and for their final expense. So some of those live guys and few of our early agencies. 19 was the big year for us because we did a lot of development. 18 we did some, but 19 just changed the trajectory from development, from client, from everything that we are known today.
And then I saw you at the Fix My Agency conference, workshop,
that was
I should 19.
Say.
And yeah, no. I saw you in 20. No, it was 20. 20. It was 27, 28. It was right before COVID. Literally, like 3 weeks later, we shut down. It was crazy.
Yes.
Crazy freaking time, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was when I really saw your system newly updated. You had a big, huge screen out. You were pulling out all this information.
Yeah.
And there were people that were saying he's not getting that information ethically. And it was by some of the, what would I say, RPA, robotic processing automation. Those were some of the things that you were using, who I must say today, majority of companies and majority of vendors that want to connect, they're all using it. But here Raution was the bad guy 3 to 5 years ago for using that technology, right? But, a lot of those people have now realized, like, holy cow, he was ethical. He was actually ahead of the curve as far as how your importance was, I don't care what we have to do. The agent needs this information in a dashboard. Whatever we got to do to get it ethically and legally, we're going to do it. Was that your thought?
Well, yes and no, Jason. I think, there is two aspects to that.
Okay.
I think I would say it as much as I give credit to people for making us where we are. I also would say it very categorically. There is a set of people in the industry who do not like us. And I'm totally cool about it. I
love that.
Care. I don't care if everybody, I don't have to be friends with everybody.
Right.
There are people who have rolled rumors after rumors after rumors about us. Oh, we got a cease and desist, or we got this, we got that. Never, ever. It was just rumor, not a figment of truth in that. And I confronted a couple of those guys to say that, why are you doing that? What harm have I caused to you?
Right.
And, they have no answers. They have to answer themselves.
At the end of the day, if you were able to get 1% of the agencies out there, you'd have more damn agencies than you could frickin' go after. And I love that. And loyal listeners, there's something to be learned there, not only from his experience, not only his wisdom, not only as a CEO, as a startup, a owner of a company, but we have to realize that, especially a lot of us CSRs who are answering the phone, some of us producers who are out there getting beat up. You really only need around 20 to 25% of the people to really love you to really make an impact. And think about the way that you are in your friends in your life. You're not trying to impress everybody. And that's one of the things that's so tough. And even those who turn you down, it's really nothing personal. It just has to do with your product. So Raution, good for you. And I like how you confronted them. And when we think of confrontation, we think of a negative thing. You were just basically saying, like, is there something wrong? Tell me. And I love that because that's the kind
Yeah.
of things that makes our industry
So
strong.
my idea was, maybe you do not have complete information, and so you are going off of misinformation. Let me help you clear that mist.
Love
And if
that.
I can help you, then probably you would not say or do what you are saying or doing.
Man, most people would run from that. Good job, Raution. And that's just protection and belief in who you are, and it's your baby. And like you just said, I'm not here to down you, but maybe you got some bad information. Let me pop my system open and show you how we're doing this. So good for you. Raution, where are you going? Where do you see us going in 3 to 5 years? 5 years ago, you were doing things that they're just doing now. Where do you see? What's the next problem for the agency that you're going to solve?
See, I think I would be honest to say that I did not wake up one fine morning saying, hey, here is this big vision that I am going to solve for independent agency. And now let me come back to that story that I want to say and then answer this question.
Okay.
So the idea was when we started building this in middle of 18 and to middle of 19, that was the first constructive period of what the initial version of InsuredMine is today.
Okay.
But did we start by saying, okay, we're going to build a CRM? The answer is no. We started by solving some very small business problem related to sales, related to sales management, related to plumbing with their sales and their agency management system and marketing automation, a lot of these little pieces. So we started adding one piece at a time, pipeline, then automations, then marketing, then texting, then calling, then Google reviews, and then you keep on adding to it. So first we added 2 legs, then said, oh, I need 2 more legs. Then I added 2 more ears, then added 2 eyes, then added a tail. And then we realized, this looks like a dog. Let's call it a dog.
I love this example. This is great.
And then that dog was a CRM dog. That's how the CRM came into picture.
This looks like a dog. Oh, this is great.
We did not envision to build a CRM. We were solving business problems.
Right.
It happens to become a CRM because that was what the total need was.
And some of those needs are data connection and utilizing the data to make a better customer experience, to make better agency decisions. And that's still a long road. So if that's the guiding factor, go ahead.
Yeah. So having said that, one of the biggest piece in that was when they say, okay, you are building a CRM, but there are world-class CRMs. I say, you are totally right. Yes, there are world-class CRMs. You talk about HubSpots, you talk about
Salesforce.
Yeah. But why are we winning against them all the time? All the time we are winning against them with big agency, medium-sized agencies because of 2 specific reasons. Number 1, we are insurance specific. We understand your process, your workflows. We understand what is renewal. We understand what is X days. We understand, how you need to engage with the customers. Number 1. And number 2, the plumbings. The plumbings are the integrations of, HubSpot is not going to give you all the plumbings. We are giving you all the plumbing plugged in so you can just plug and play. Go plug in InsuredMine and tomorrow you are live. Rather than you bring in HubSpot and spend another 6 months trying to figure out how all these, it's like building your IKEA. Yes, you may have a cheap done for you DIY thing, but why waste your time? That's not your focus. Your focus is go talk to your customer, get more money. I'm going to do that for you. That was big reason why we are winning against the world-class CRMs. Now back to your core question, where are we heading? So as you understand, AMS have been defined as being said that, it's a great product designed, developed, conceptualized 30 years ago. Is that the product for the next 30 years? I do not know. But so when people tell us, okay, do you want to become a AMS? I say, why do I become something which is 30 years old dated? Become a thing which is next for the next 30 years.
Loyal listeners, back that up and hear that again. That was good.
Right? So what is that next 30 years? Now people are focused on 2 things. 1, they are focused on their customers. And 2, they are focused on growth. They want to grow their business. And those are the two things. And these are all front-end systems. The CRM is aligned to be the front-end system of the agency that will align them to focus on their customer, that will align them to help, enable them to grow. Now, how do we accomplish that? Obviously, we are known to solve business problem with technology. And that's we're going to continue doing. Like in the pipeline, what else can we do? Now we are adding AI to our tools, which means we are adding how the customer is interacting with you. Do we have that analysis to tell you? We are doing the NLPs, natural language processing, using AI to say, is the customer happy? Is the customer sad? Because then you can react accordingly.
I like that.
So things like that, where we are adding more predictability to it, where we can say, hey, what is the possibility this deal will close? You can have a number in your head, but having that AI tool to enable you with those things, what you need to do next, how is the sentiment, what kind of a win ratio you can expect out of these, will make the life way more smoother for the producers, for CSRs, and that's where we are. We want to become that production hack for the agency.
So they say if you can't measure it, it's not real, right? We can have, as you said, you can have that number in your head, but until you can show how you derived at that number, you're not going to be able to do it. Now the other thing, Raution, that I think is important is that when you're looking, I had this thought in my head the whole time you were talking because you really hit on something really good. Yeah, can't really think of it. But anyways, I think that, where we're going. I think also where we're going is a lot of the technology out there that has really come about helps with a lot of prospecting, a lot of sales, and now we're starting to see it where it flows into the quoting. I think there is a big push on the 2.0 of InsureTech will be helping us on the service side. Making that. Right now, we're using automations inside of CRMs, but they're really good on the prospecting and sales side, but really need a lot of work on the back end side. Is that something that you're looking at? Is that something you think, hey, Jason, we may have already started to solve that problem? Does that make sense what I'm saying there?
Yes, it does. Let me take a step back and start with one of the biggest element in the operations in an agency, which is renewal.
Yes.
Right? So I declare this on your podcast. There is no system, and I say this in front of all these millions and multi-billion-dollar agency management system and everything around in the ecosystem. There is no system which manages renewal better than InsuredMine today.
Oh, I like that. And what makes you make that stand? Yeah, what makes you make that stand?
Yeah, we touch 100% of your renewal. We look into the automations of 100% of those, and then the way we create that assembly line, you start automatically, it drops off automatically, it stamps things in a specific way based on the status, and so there is so much intelligence built into it. I could very easily decoy people by saying it's an AI. No, it's not. It's all standard business logic put in. There is no AI, but it's so robust. We have spent so much energy with our clients to build this that we are winning. Now we go into demo, we just talk about renewal, we walk away with a deal. That itself is a big winner.
Yeah, it is. The onboarding and the renewal is a very big weakness in insurance. And I want to talk to you about that, Raution. I'm working with another vendor on trying to help when it comes to the onboarding of agencies, because I think that's important. All right. Well, hey, dude, fantastic. Wrapping this up, Raution, loyal listeners, I want to wrap this up, Raution. I want you, is there anything last you want to say before I do? Raution, our loyal listeners, do you not hear the passion that he has? If not, go check us out. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. But the passion he has that's coming from it, and I love it. I really, truly do. I can think of a couple other CEOs that I had one CEO at a dinner last year tell me, he said, if someone badmouthed this industry or badmouth other people's products who are trying to make agents better, I'd fight them. And I laughed, and he's like, I'm serious, Jason, I'd fight him. He's like, I believe in this industry this much. And it was so awesome to see that passion, and to hear it from you, Raution, for the last 25 minutes has been fantastic. Wrapping up, anything you'd like to say?
No, I think, what has kept it going, as you rightly said, is the passion. We enjoy what we are doing and we are continuing to build. So being a startup, last 4 years, we bootstrapped this company, right? So we have bootstrapped, we are a 50 people company. Right now, I don't know if you saw last week, we posted a 25 openings.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so when everybody's shrinking, we are growing.
That's
So we
awesome.
can grow this, and right now, so that's the trajectory we are looking at. We have some of the largest agencies in the country which is using us. Our sales cycle looks ridiculously crazy, the way we are doing things. So again, I think the proof is in the pudding of why this solution is working, because every agency we work with is being benefited and they are seeing the result, and
Mm.
that word of mouth is helping to grow this. And I think right now this is only becoming bigger and bigger, because from both perspective, with every agency we are adding to the system, more feedback is coming, and that feeds more energy to us to build more deeper product. And that's what we're going to continue. It's always been a product led company, and that will be the center stage for us, just continue investing in product.
I love it, man. I love it. Little listeners, I explained to my producers at my agency that what they have an advantage of when we're talking with a new prospect and we're trying to convince them to be our client through our many ways. I tell them you have an advantage because you've seen the process all the way through, and you've seen the stuff that you're going to put in place for this business and the results it's given them. And that makes you a bigger believer. And when you understand and see that, and now after them selling 2, maybe 3 big accounts and going through that process, coming through their first year, seeing what they did, it now makes them a bigger believer in what they're doing. And the listeners,
Yep.
if you hear, that's exactly what Roush just said. Like he's seen small, large, or middle-sized, larger agencies have the success of everything he's saying, which just drives you more and more passionate into, please listen to what I'm saying. I'm not the answer for everybody, but those who have chosen me as an answer are getting the things that they need. And so I really do appreciate that. Loyal listeners, please listen to Raution when he says that. And I do appreciate your time as a CEO. I know it's very few today, so thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, this has been good. I love this stuff. That has been really good. So remember, I do what I do because I do it for you. Tell me your thoughts and tell me your ideas, and I'm going to tell the world what you have to say. This has been Cass, and he's Jaiswal, and we're out.